Hey there YouTube, Travis and Will here. I'm not one who usually makes general update videos, but this is a big one. This is the last night that Will and I's basement garage will actually be intact. I am moving out tomorrow and we're splitting up the bikes. And I thought I'd kind of do a little overview with him and we'll go through these and talk about where each bike kind of sits. And I know I don't make individual update videos for bikes always, so hopefully this will give you the viewers a chance to kind of see where we are and how this is all going to go. So first thing I'm going to talk about here is there's an end of a white frame. Back here, oh yeah, this is what remains of the Malaguti commuter, which was presented in one of my videos. I believe I titled it as a summer project. Then I realized that the Marini MO2 motor that was in it was completely swamped, and I just wasn't as involved with Italian bikes as I originally would have hoped. They didn't really click with me, and now I got all these spare Italian wheels here. They're all 16-inch, and none of my bikes take 16-inch wheels, but we'll see. It's a frame, so it can always become something else later. That's that. We'll see where that goes. The parts that I pulled off it powered many of my other bikes. Simple stuff like, you know, brake lever narps and wiring and all sorts of stuff. So that's where that one wound up. And then over here, we have the Honda MB5, which is almost road ready. This is going to be a little bit more before it gets kind of on the road, just because in addition to getting it running, it's not getting fuel right now, and I think the reeds are stuck. But the original tank on it was, it had holes, a failed cream job, and it was rusty, and so I tried, but I could not make it work. So this is a replacement tank that only had rust and pinholes, but a PR15 job took care of that. And now it's all assembled for state inspection. It needs turn signals and white brake light hooked up and a couple other things, but it is finally kind of intact, and I will make a video of this once it's running. Now I got Will's junker Hobbit right here. Will, I'm trying to think what's been done to this ever since that last video we made with it.
Not a lot. What viewers are probably going to ask about, and what everyone asks about, are these springs. I believe were not in the last video. I just got a bunch of springs and wrapped them around the head and the cylinder for a little extra cooling. Got me about 10 degrees cooler, which, you know, every little bit helps.
Yep. So a reminder for the viewers, this one is a ported stock cylinder, heavily ported. You've got different springs in the clutch,
yep,
and different weights.
Variator weights. Went back to the stock belt, pipe obviously, different reeds, performance crank. What else? CDI. Actually, I don't know if the CDI was.
No,
in the
it wasn't.
video.
No, you got
so retarding CDI off of a Yamaha Jog scooter.
Nice. That was the 77 mopeds CDI, yes, with the Jog box.
Yep.
Right. Okay.
And it works perfectly. It's a great product, and I highly recommend it. Seriously though, it's
no,
nice.
that's legit.
And it is 50 on a 50.
Good deal. Man, that's awesome. Humble beginnings. We have the Maxi N right here, which was featured in a lot of videos actually. An old video of me dropping the motor off it, and then when I've taken it to 2 moped rallies. This is the 70cc DMP kit. I'm currently still kind of tweaking it out. I've never actually gotten this thing tuned in perfectly, but I have a coming video about that. I have a homemade leak down tester. I'm going to show you. I found a couple air leaks, and we'll see how this thing gets going. It's just been this kind of crazy experimental fast thing, and I've just focused on other bikes, and I finally have some time to give it its full attention. I don't think this has ever been featured before. It's kind of always been in the background of some videos, but this is Will and I's Sacks G3. This bike is really cool. A buddy of ours bought it and ended up not really getting into mopeds as much as Will and I would have hoped, and he ended up giving it to us for helping him with his other projects. And PA titled, all that fun stuff. Tank's been cleaned. Will rebuilt the motor.
Travis helped too. We did that together for the most part. Originally a 25 mile an hour Pennsylvania model, so it has an A bottom end. You can read it on the little tag right there. But it came with a D top end that's been honed with new rings. Also, the A bottom end was rebuilt with a D crank, and I've got a D clutch spring that I'm going to throw in there too.
Nice. So we're hoping to turn this into a 505D.
And the
Ooh, yeah,
real nice pipe
by MLM. Yes.
Specifically for the Sacks G3.
Like it actually bolts in perfectly, and that's an awesome pipe. So this one
is close.
It's so close. We have in the wings a 14 round bing we're gonna put on this guy, and go from there. The intake has been flipped, so it kind of sticks out that way, as you can see right there. But
and it's the good 14.3 intake.
Ooh, yes, yes it is. So, like I said, another project that we really have never been able to devote all of our time on, but something that will get there. And this thing is really cool. It's got a coaster brake and a bunch of other fun goodies. Hey Gus, what do you want? Gus? Okay.
He's coming with me. I'm moving out in a couple weeks too, actually.
Oh man, truly the end. But also a beginning.
Yep.
So take some positives out of it. This has been in a couple of videos. A Pook in Pieces, I called one of those videos. This was our buddy Ben's bike, and this was his great uncle's bike, and he slowly fixed it over the past couple of years, and he moved away and couldn't take it with him, so I had him give it to my girlfriend for a fair price. And well, this one unfortunately had a failed POR 15 job in it. He messed it up. He put it in his super damp garage, and it peeled off, and we recently redid that this past weekend. It seems to be holding up pretty well. Nothing fancy, just a bi-turbo and a stock carb, but in a high-flow metal mesh air filter. But it's finally turned into something nice and usable. So new tires and cables and all that fun stuff. Nothing all that fancy. Alright, well, we're going to go into a different room here. And here she is, the bike that really started it all. This is my 1978 Pook Maxi. My very first video related to mopeds was about this. I couldn't even pronounce the name of the bike, and I had no idea what I was talking about, but I leave that video up because, you know, it shows kind of really where I came from and how I got into all this, and so I think it's funny to look back on that kind of stuff. But anyway, this bike, I never really made an update video for it because I never really changed it all that much. It never got rebuilt. It never got kitted. It just kind of stayed how it was. But one thing I did do is I put these big set of 8 hangers on here. They're really fun. I did lose some handling with that, but I kind of got used to it. So it's got these crazy high bars, Magnum kickstand. It's just real simple. It's a 14 Bing with a Boss pipe and a high flow metal mesh filter. But I got the double seat, fold out foot pegs, upgraded rear shocks from Treats, and the robot swing arm. I believe MLM sells a Maxi swing arm.
He still rides this one all the time though.
No, this thing still gets ridden. It's been truly reliable. I haven't really had to touch it in the past 2 years except for a spark plug, and I haven't even had to clean the carb actually. It's been just a really nice Pook Maxi, and I'm glad I was able to get it built up right, and this thing was so forgiving to all my errors in the beginning. So this guy is still around, and I am gonna keep this for as long as I absolutely can. So here is the Motobacan. This thing was a boat anchor, and as you saw in the last video, we finally got it running. This one is going with Will. He just seems to be more apt to variated bikes, and
yeah, I kind of fell in love with this. I mean, it's definitely a love-hate relationship. It's needed pretty much everything except the tank was clean. But yeah, I've really gone over almost every little bit of this, and it still looks pretty rough, but it's getting there.
Man, I mean, what a beautiful bike, though. I mean, from an aesthetics point of view. And it's variated and, like, all that fun stuff, and there's so many performance parts for it, but, I mean, even just to get it to run stock, this thing was a bear. It was...
that motor just needed to be gone over completely.
You were sanding clutches, you were
Yep.
doing all sorts of stuff to that thing.
But I did fall in love with it, and I don't think I can part with it now that I've done so much to it.
Yeah, I feel you there. I feel you there. Some of you viewers might remember this thing. This is the 1977 Benelli Blazer. This bike has also been really good to me. It just needs the tank gone through, like really gone through, which is a removable tank, unlike the G2. This is the Blazer, so the tank is removable, and the seat kind of cracked. That's kind of common with old rigid seats, so it's duct taped until I find some sort of replacement for it. But general stuff, cleaned up the cables and put brand new Savas on it and all that fun stuff, and had to work on the speedo drive a little bit and just a couple odds and ends, but it's been a fun bike. I'm probably going to sell this one only because I have enough stockers and there's not that many parts out there for it, and it could be a good bike for somebody. Oh,
Runs perfectly.
No, it runs so well. We did put a 1412 on there. There was originally a 14.9, like a 12.9.
Yeah, 14.9.
14.9, restricted carb on there. So we put a regular 1412 and got a couple more miles an hour out of it. So
It's actually pretty quick for a stock bike. It'll do low 30s.
yeah, it's interesting. It's only got 1,000 miles on it, and it has the original toolkit and all that fun stuff. So someone will enjoy it. Now there's this thing. So this is the 77 Pinto 2. And, you know, I've kind of held off making videos on this for a while because it does run and starts right up. But it's going to need a full rebuild, and I just have not had the time set aside to do it. Originally, the idea for this was Will and I were going to make a series of videos how to make a Pook fast for free. Everything from de-restricting the stock pipe to porting the cylinder to also airbox mods and all sorts of stuff just to bleed more speed out of a basic Pook E50 for free. But we can't really do that until we get it running perfectly stock, and it's got, I think, a couple case leaks or around the seals and the crank seals, and so it's going to get done. Otherwise, most of the other stuff has actually been done. Wheel bearings repacked, tires, brakes, all that fun stuff. So you will probably see this one again, but not for a little bit. Now we're out here on the front porch because these bikes get ridden so often, but first there's the General here, and I made a video about this a long time ago. I sold it to Will, and and his wife rides this to work and all sorts of stuff. It got ridden a ton.
She loves it. I mean, I love it too, but it's really her bike. Let's see, you bought it with how many miles? 300 miles?
300 miles on it.
Now it's got 1,700 or so.
Nice.
So it gets ridden. It definitely gets ridden. That's a good bike. As Travis always said, in the end, there will always be the General.
No matter what other bikes break down, there will always be the General. Yep, and it's in near mint condition. I mean,
I kind of broke one of the turn signals off. I'm looking for another.
A couple little scuffs and scrapes. Somebody backed into me and dented the front fender in a truck one day. But it's a moped, and it gets ridden and used, and that's what it's, you know, supposed to be done. You actually... So you cracked the cases on this once. It had a leaky seal behind the stator.
Yep.
And now
because it's the cases are split horizontally, you can't just pull it out with a pick. You gotta crack the cases. So now it runs perfectly well.
That's excellent. I mean, just so clean, this thing.
Really reliable, clean, good bike.
Gotta love the Sacks 505A. And then over here you got your first Hobbit.
Yep, my first moped.
The yellow one. Man.
Not really a looker, but it's really reliable. Again, I did eventually have to rebuild it, probably. Now I'm more feeling like I should do that as soon as I buy a moped, but...
It's peace of mind on one hand,
yeah.
You know, so...
But it's a great bike. I ride this every day pretty much. Let's see, I put probably 1,500 miles on it.
Not bad, not bad. So, as Will and I can kind of both agree on, this was an incredible bargain we got on these two bikes. I did separate videos for each of them: the 1997 Tomos Targa LX top tank and the 1986 Honda Spree scooter. These were both estate auction scores we got only a few weeks ago. We paid $240 for the Spree and $260 for the Tomos, which was an absolute steal.
Yeah. Especially for the Tomos.
Oh my gosh, yes. Especially because it already had the bi-turbo on it. The original owner, though, neglected to change out the jet in the car, but still had the stock 53, even with the pipe, so I was a little disappointed about that. But I got it jetted a little better, and it runs nicer. There'll be some video updates about this as it gets built up, but the real surprise here was the Spree.
Yeah.
You know, there's the Moped Army infograph to see if you have a moped or not, and it's spreeing it up, and it was like, well, let's get it as a joke, you know, whatever, but it turned out to be actually really nice.
Yeah, I mean, it's still kind of a joke. Looks funny riding it, you know, the suspension's really but it's really solid. It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun to just kind of buzz around on this thing. It's a good bike. It just really needed the carb gone through, and I mean, really gone through. It was nasty, but other than that, really did not need much.
That's excellent. No, I mean, we took the risk buying these. I mean, we only knew they kicked over, and that's it. There's some other stuff they had there, like a Suzuki FJ50, but that didn't kick over, and we were like, I don't know about that. But these two were definitely the winners. But they'll be both coming with me when I go my separate way tomorrow. So be tearing it up in Delaware somewhere. Well, okay there, YouTube. Hope you enjoyed that video. This really goes out to the subscribers that have been with me for a long time and follow all my videos. I really appreciate you guys. I really appreciate your comments and interacting with you. Well, YouTube, until next time.